start with the dry cleaning, and the book is dirty, definitely dirty. And the reason why I want to do dry cleaning is I want to get to the actual color of the rim of the back cover, so I can try to replicate it, right? The edges, right? And every now and then you see something like this is folded over, but it's gonna fold, so I'm gonna leave it alone for now. And so after I finish with removing surface dust, being mindful of the fragility of the book and how dirty it is, right? Much of this dirt will come off, hopefully, with the dry cleaning and the wet rinse at the end. You can see how pieces are falling off, so I've got to be careful here. This removes any surface dirt and even deep dirt. The little eraser shavings go between the nooks and crannies of the book, of the cover, and you end up cleaning it up nicely. So we're going to do the back cover, we're going to do the front cover, and this is just rotation movements like these will do it, right? You can see it's working already, right? My hands are clean and dry. So going over the colors and the white. Mr. Atlas is in good shape, even though he's been gone for a while now. But at least he died happy. He was in good shape. So this idea of getting the color of the Furnish matching with the color of the back cover was annoying me since my debacle work on the interior of the shop SuspenStories. I couldn't get the colors quite right. Of course, the second attempt was better than the first, most definitely, but still wasn't exact, right? I'm not saying we need to get it exactly, but I'm saying we can do better, right? And I suggested the idea to my friend Don Carter, who is probably listening to this right now. And he is very excited about it. He's gonna try it out also. And we're gonna cooperate on this and see if we can improve the technique and get it so that we can match the Furnish color to the desired color that we want. And the technique, of course, is an older technique, was described by Don Farnsworth in his Determinate Paper Making. And in it, he uses several steps, including a high-end spectrophotometer that reads the precise lab values of various colors of his fibers. Then he catalogs his fibers and puts them into Photoshop as swatches, and then uses the swatches to give him a combination of the swatch colors so that the final color of the fiber he wants is coming from different percentages of his own fibers, right? This is the Color Muse SE. It's a device that can read the color of a certain paper. So here I have all my fibers, And I'm gonna do is scan their colors with the Color Muse SE and place these colors as lab numbers in an Excel sheet. What you do is you pair the device with the iPhone, and the iPhone has the app, and the app can read the colors of the fibers. And these colors are transferred to the iPhone as lab numbers, LAB numbers. And LAB numbers, as we will see, are going to be important at figuring out the color combination of the fibers we're going to be using to come up with the final color match that goes with our Shock Suspense Stories number 10, the back cover at least. So I have here the 10 fibers, and now the question is, what combination of each fiber and what percentage of each fiber do I need to use to achieve a color match of 77 and 24 for the lab value? So the target has to be the color that matches with the back of Shock Suspense Story, the white essentially of the Shock Suspense Story, which is not really white, it's more like off yellow right now. So how do we do that? So what we do is we go into Photoshop, we start a new file, and you want a 10 by 10 pixels, and color mode has to be RGB. And you create the file. When you create the file, it's going to be very small, 10 by 10 pixels, and you can zoom in on it by pressing Ctrl+ repeatedly. So here we have a nice size square that we can now fill in the color. So the cool color is going to be 77 and 24 is already in there. And here it is. Here's the color we want to achieve there. So if I go into image mode, index color, then I can go to custom, load the file. It's an ACO file. So here it is. Here are my fibers, all 10 of them. Load them. So I can just say OK now and change this to a pattern, which already did. So it ends up returning the various colors that need to be incorporated into your final furnish, right? The percentages, at least, you know what they are, and you could convert that into grams, right? So if in my case, there are 3 different fibers here are recommended, and these 3 fibers, if you combine them together at these percentages, I should end up with that color, right? So now we have a combination of fibers here, and to get the percentage of each fiber in your final pulp recipe, you need to go into, let's see, Magic Wand tool, and then you want to set tolerance to 1, uncheck the anti-alias, and uncheck the contiguous. So these usually are checked first. And then what you want to do is open the window for histogram and do the expanded version of it, so you can see the number of pixels. So one way of doing this is if you can click on, now with the magic wand, one of the colors. So say you're going to do the husk. Here's the husk, and it's saying the husk is required at 16% in the final fiber. So there are 100 squares here, 16 of them are husk. So 16% of your final fiber in the Furnish will have to be husk. If I click on the tone tan paper, it'll say 46% of that should be tone tanned, right? Then finally, if I click on the final one, which is the honeycomb, I believe. So you click on the honeycomb, it'll say it's required at 38%, right? So you don't even need to count them. You can just use the histogram function, and alongside the magic wand, you could actually figure out the percentage of every fiber in your final Furnish. Now, some cautionary notes about the color muse is that the exact color may not be possible with it, right? It's not a high-end spectrophotometer. So what I did for my Excel sheet is to get a number of readings and then average them, right? So I got like 4 different readings from different places on the color and then averaged them into a single color. This way the lab color is more, closer to the actual color. The swatches I put into Photoshop, I put them in one at a time using the method that Farnsworth described in his paper making book. And it isn't difficult to do, but I'm not going to demonstrate it here, but you could read it on your own in the document that he has. Now, as far as doing this the first time, you may end up with some frustrations because your version of Photoshop may not be the same as his version. And I am lucky in a sense that I'm using a version that is very similar to his version. So I don't know if it's going to be exact step by step, but you can finagle it. And if there are some other programs you can try to use to mix these colors or to have the program suggest these colors, maybe there's an app, maybe there's a computer program, maybe there's, who knows, right? And you can research that. And if you have any ideas, let me know here in the comments, right? It'll be very, very helpful. Yeah, so that's all I have to say today. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.